What's going on, everyone? So, one of the big things, and I know what you did last summer, was Julie's nightmares, night terrors, right? I mean, they're not even really night terrors because she had them in the middle of class in the middle of the day, right? But she used to have these nightmares. And, even at the end of part 2, I still know what you did last summer, there was like that moment at the end where it's like, wait, this had to have been another dream, right? Especially after the way part 1 ended. I know what you did last summer, right? So it was like, okay, this must have been a dream. And for a long time, there was like real debate of like, no, like that's really how it ended. They died, right? Like it was left to the imagination, right? Some camps believe like that's how it ended. Some camps believe, no, it was just a dream. Well, turns out it was just a dream because guess what? Julie and Ray are back for the next installment. But one of the questions that I have is, in particular, with Julie and the night terrors. Will we get a night terror scene? Will we get something at the end, in the middle, at some point, right? Is that how we get introduced to Julie? Right? That could be kind of interesting, right? Like, what if we get something where, you get this sequence where the Hookman's like walking in, you see Julie, and then boom, the Hookman takes her out or something. We're like, no way, they just killed her, right? Like, and then it turns out it was just a night terror, right? You could even do it because based on the trailer, it looks like our introduction to Julie, Jennifer Love Hewitt's character, is one of the new characters go to what looks to be like a college campus or something and talk to her, right? Now we see Ray, he basically is introduced when he shows up to talk in this town hall meeting or whatever, right? So he appears to kind of inject himself into the situation. He's going to kind of be the one that maybe leads charge and maybe tells these others like, hey, you need to go talk to Julie type thing, right? So fast forward into that, right? You get the introduction of Julie. I could see something where, okay, they have that conversation and then she's kind of like debating whether she's going to help or not. And then you fast forward to a scene and then that's the night terror, right? So you get the normal introduction where she's like, I can't live that again. And then she just goes home. Maybe we get a scene where she gets tore up, right? And we're like, no way, right? Like there's no way that just happened. And then it turns out it was a night terror. Maybe that's what kind of sparks her to get involved to help, right? Because she's like, hey, like, I don't want to live in that fear, right? I don't want to live, like, I want to know whoever this is dead. I want to know whoever this is gone. I don't want to have to live with that, like, oh man, is he out there? Is he coming for me type thing? How is this gonna happen, right? Like, I just think for her sanity, it's probably the best approach. But also another route that I could see, one, do they kill either of the legacy characters and, Julie or Ray? I could see them killing Ray. I don't think that they would kill Julie, but I could see them killing Ray. But maybe you have something where, because again, it doesn't appear like they're together. So if they're not together, do they eventually reach that point where they kind of rekindle, respark that love for each other, right? That's kind of always been their path, right? They're kind of on, off, hot, cold type thing. So maybe you get something where, they get introduced, they kind of live in separate lives, they're not really communicating or anything, and then it's like that old love comes back together, they're reunited because of the Hookman once again, which is how they got reunited last time, right? Because remember, they were together, the accident happened, he stayed and became a fisherman, Julie went to college, she comes back, Hookman gets them kind of back together, and then in the end, they were together, and then you see part 2, and so on and so forth, right? You've seen the films, you understand, right? So I could see maybe something like that where the Hookman kind of brings them together again. You get this end scene where, they're, kind of working on their thing or they're having a night out and they're just enjoying themselves or whatever. And then maybe like a Julie or Ray or maybe both, you kind of get a part 2 version again where they both die and it's kind of left ominous again. It's right. Kind of left for the audience's imagination. Like, was this a night terror? Was this not? Right. That I think would be best served if you don't get the night terrors the rest of the movie, right? Like if you don't get any either, right? Because like, and I still know what you did last summer. You had the night terrors early, right? Like, so they set up and establish that she has she's still having the nightmares, right? And that also kind of explained the ending of part 1, right? So it's like, okay, so you have the establishment. Fast forward to the end of that movie, and it's like, okay, well, that must have just been another night terror, right? Because they're not going to kill both of the main characters at the end, right? So boom, you do something like that. All right, well, if you do that this version, then again, we're all going to think like, oh, but now this isn't their movie. They're not the main characters, right? Like, you could kind of leave it in a way to where we all are like, oh, did they really just kill them this time? Like, did they really just do the same thing twice? Right? Now you kind of have that audience investment, that audience engagement, that audience's thought and perspective, and you have different opinions on, no, that was another night terror, that was not, right? And you kind of have this debate going on. And those that aren't familiar with the night terrors or just don't make the connection or whatever, you're going to have them that believe that, right? So it could be a real cool establishment point, especially if you do future films, right? You can always just go like, hey, that was just a dream, right? That was a nightmare. Or you could even have, say, if they do another I Know What You Did Last Summer, right? You could do something where, that the ending of this one is the beginning of the next one, and Julie, and maybe just Ray dies saving Julie and getting Julie out, and then Julie's like, the Hookman's not dead, and then that's how chaos ensues in the next one, right? So there are multiple paths and versions where you can kind of, make that work even if you wanted to kind of go down that path. But I'm curious if we're going to get night terrors. I really don't want another character to do it. Right? I really hope that doesn't happen. I really hope that they don't kind of because again, they're doing the same plot from the original, which means I'm sure that there are going to be other elements, right? Like usually if you're going to copy one element, you're going to copy others. So I do have concerns where, do they kind of have like the new Julie and it's like kind of the same character and it's like I don't want that. Right? Like I want Julie to be Julie. I want whatever this new, main actress or character or whatever, I want them to be that. I want them to be that character. Right? So you can have Julie in them for however many films and whatnot, or continue to go that. And so I don't want to see others have night terrors or night dreams or, somebody else had a dream that, Julie and Ray were killed. And then now is it a premonition or again, I don't want this to go off the rails here, right? I just want it to, hey, is Julie going to continue? Does she still have night terrors, right? Is it something that she's always had her whole life? Or is it something that she eventually got over once she knew Ben Willis was dead and, it's been 30 years, so she's basically gotten over it. Maybe she went to therapy, whatever, right? You can say whatever you got to say to have her be over it and then boom, there you go. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Phil, what are your thoughts? Do you want them to have night terrors? Do you not want her to have night terrors? You can mix in the middle down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel. What are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.